Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Caitanya Caritāmrta overview class. Thank you for joining in. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuro Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. We are discussing from Caitanya Caritāmrta Adi Leela. We are in chapter 13, the advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yesterday we discussed the wonderful Adi Leela, the beginning of the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, starting with the birth, the wonderful birth, appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we discussed how Mahaprabhu, Krishna, he sent his superiors. Before he appears in this world, he sends his superiors always. He sent his mother, father, his Guru Varga, his teachers, Jagannath Mishra, Shashimata, and Nilambar Chakravarti, Madhavendra Puri, Ishwar Puri, all these associates who are the seniors. They appeared, and then on a proper time, on Chandra Grahan day, in the evening of the Falgun Purnima, in the year 1486, Lord appeared. Nadiya Udayagiri Purna Chandra Gaurahari Kripa Kori Hoila Udaya Papatama Hoilana Shri Jagatera Ullas Jagabhari Hari Dhwani Hoy. So Nadia, Navadvip is like a mountain. It is the mountain in which the sun rises. Nadiya Udayagiri Purna Chandra Gaurahari. And in that mountain, Purna Chandra, Gaur Chandra appeared. Kripa Kari Hoila Avatar, and when Lord appeared, Papatama Hoila Nash, all the ignorance of this world will be destroyed. Tri Jagatera Ullas, and everybody became happy. Jagabhari Hari Dhwani Hoy, and everybody was chanting the names of Hari because it was a lunar eclipse. So we were discussing what happened after Lord appeared. So we discussed till 102nd verse. So when Mahaprabhu was about to appear, when Mahaprabhu appeared in this world, Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur, they were so very happy, jubilant, although they didn't understand why they are happy. Because Advaita Acharya, he was in Shantipur and Mahaprabhu appeared in Navadvip. So how is it that Advaita Acharya is becoming happy? Because he didn't receive the news that, oh, some child has appeared in the home of Jagannath Mishra. Just he is happy from within because he understands that for sure Lord has appeared in this world. So in 102nd verse, we discussed how Acharya Ratna and Srivas Thakur, he was so very happy. They were so very happy, overwhelmed with joy. And they also went to Ganga and they took bath and they also were chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. And then in this way, all these devotees, Advaita Acharya, Acharya Ratna, Srivas Thakur, they were giving charity. Just they were giving charity in the mind only. because they wanted to give charity, unlimited charity, but they didn't have that much. So whatever they had, they gave, and then they were giving in mind also, mental charity, because Lord is Bhavagrahi. If you do something good in Kali Yuga, that is a wonderful thing. In the previous ages, if you do something, if you think something wrong, you get the reaction. But in Kali Yuga, if you think something wrong, you will not get the reaction. If you do something wrong, then you will get the reaction. But in Kali Yuga, even if you think something good, you get the good reaction of it. Just mentally doing some pious activity also gives benefit in Kali Yuga. Nanudveshti kalim samrat saranga iva sarabhuk kushalani ashu siddhyanti netarani kritaniyat. So Parikshit Maharaj, as we hear in Bhagavatam first canto, Parikshit Maharaj, he saw this Kali personified, dressed as a king, and he was hitting bull. Parikshit Maharaj could have killed this Kali personified, but because Kali, he took shelter of Parikshit. And Parikshit Maharaj, being a Saragrahi Vaishnava, he's a Saragrahi. That means he is the seeker of essence. He always takes the essence. So being a Saragrahi devotee, he didn't kill Kali Yuga. Why? Because Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti, in Kali Yuga, if you think something good, you get the good reaction. But if you do something bad, then you get the bad reaction. Devotees are like Saragrahi, Saranga Iva Sarabhuk. So in this world, people, they are mostly, looking for the bad things and the faults of people. But devotees, they always see good things in people. That is the difference between a housefly and a honeybee. Honeybee is always looking for the flowers and the nectar in the flower. But a housefly, even if you leave a housefly in the garden of flowers, housefly will go and land on a garbage which is there in one corner of the garden. So devotees are like honeybee. They are seekers of essence. So therefore, all these devotees, they are so very happy, they are so very jubilant, and they are giving charity of thousands of cows in the mind. And then all the respectable Brahmana ladies, they are coming with beautiful, wonderful offerings. And when they saw the newborn child, this child has a complexion of molten gold. That is the complexion of Srimati Radharani, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. So that is the complexion of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Radha Bhava Dyuti. The complexion of Srimati Radharani is being taken by Krishna, and that is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when they saw this beautiful newborn child with golden complexion, they were so very happy and they were giving all the blessings. Who all had assembled there? Not only ordinary Brahmana ladies they came, but celestial ladies, they were also coming. Savitri, Gauri, Saraswati, Shachirambha, Arundhati, Arayata Deva Narigan, Nana Dravya Patra Bhari, Brahmanira Veshadhari, Ase Sabi Kore Nadarshan. So who all were coming? Savitri, Gauri, Saraswati. Savitri means the wife of Brahmaji. Savitri. Gauri, wife of Lord Shiva. Savitri, Gauri, Saraswati. And the wife of Lord Narsimhadev is also coming. That is Shachi Rambha Saraswati. Shachi means the wife of Indra. Rambha is one of the celestial apsaras. Arundhati is wife of Vashishta. Nana Arayata Deva Narigan, and all the other celestial ladies, what are they doing? Nana Dravya Patra Bhari. They brought so many offerings. Brahmanira Veshadhari, and they became like ordinary Brahmanis. Sabe asi kore darshan, and everybody is coming and taking darshan of Lord Gaur Hari. So that is the wonderful nature of the pastimes of the Lord, that even devatas are coming and taking darshan. All the celestial ladies are coming. Then all the devatas, all the gandharvas, chanaras, kinnaras, all the celestial beings, they are also coming. They are offering prayers in the glorification of the Lord. And all the gandharvas, they are singing beautiful music and the songs, and various instruments are being played. So in the heaven, all this ecstatic movement is there. Everybody is happy that Lord has appeared in this world. And in Navadvip also, all the professional reciters, singers, everybody was dancing. That was the wonderful celebration. So Prabhupada writes that, in the celestial planets, there are professional dancers, singers, and reciters of prayers. Similarly, in the earlier times, even in India, the kings, they would have all these people who would come and glorify them. We hear in Bhagavatam when Prithu Maharaj appeared, all the Magadhis, Vandi, Suta, they are professional people who come and glorify the king. They were coming and they were glorifying Prithu Maharaj. Then we read in the first canto, 12th chapter, when Parikshit Maharaj appeared. Then also, so many wonderful sages, they were coming, and professional reciters, singers, they were coming and they were glorifying Parikshit Maharaj. And then Prabhupada writes, in these situations, even eunuchs come, and all these eunuchs, they take advantage of such ceremonies and they get charity because they don't serve anyone. That is the only means of their livelihood, So they just survive taking charity from the neighborhood. So many people were coming. Nobody was able to understand from where they are coming. Nobody knew who is this personality, who was coming, who was going, who was dancing, who was singing. Nobody was able to understand. And nobody could recognize who is this person, And nobody could understand each other's language. Everybody was speaking in different languages. So that was the festive atmosphere. Everybody was happy. And Kaviraj Goswami writes, all the happiness, all the unhappiness and lamentation immediately dissipated. That is the wonderful nature of the appearance of the Lord. When Lord appears, all lamentation, all distress, everything is gone. Just like Bhagavatam says, when we hear Bhagavatam, first canto Bhagavatam describes 7th chapter. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutvadyate Pumsam Shokamoha Bhayapaha. When bhakti appears in the heart, just like when Krishna appears, Krishna is non different than holy names. When we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we are with Krishna. So we should have this understanding that we are with Krishna. Nam Chintamani Krishna Caitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddhau Nitya Muktau Abhinnatvat Nama Naminau. Krishna is non-different than holy names, and when Krishna appears on the lotus of the devotee's heart, Krishne Parama Purushe Bhaktir Utpadyate, when we hear, Shruyamanayam, regularly when we hear, what happens? 3 things we have to lose. What are the 3 things? Shoka, Moha, Bhaya. All these 3 things we have to give up. No lamentation, no illusion, and no fear. One time somebody asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, when you chant Hare Krishna, how do you feel? Prabhupada said, I feel fearless. That is a devotee. That is how one should feel when we connect to Krishna, fearless. Because a devotee knows, Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke, Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to save us, nobody can kill us. And if Krishna wants to kill somebody, who can save that person? So devotees, they are always protected by Krishna. As Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee will never perish. So therefore, there is no fear. Shoka, moha, bhaya, apaha. So when Mahaprabhu appeared in this world, all the lamentation, all the misery, it was all gone. Everybody became jubilant, happy. Jagannath Mishra was so very happy, joyful. And then Chandrasekhar Acharya and Srivas Thakur, they came to the place of Jagannath Mishra and they performed the Jat Karma ceremonies. They performed all the rituals which are to be done when a child takes birth. And then Jagannath Mishra gave lots of charity. Interestingly, so many people were coming and giving gifts to Jagannath Mishra. But whatever Jagannath Mishra he would collect, he would give everything back as charity. He was not keeping anything for himself. That is a devotee. That is a Brahmana actually. Prabhupada would tell, Brahmana has 6 duties. Patan, Patan, Yajana, Yajana, Dana, Pratigraha. Reading and teaching, doing yajna and making others do yajna, and taking charity and giving charity. So Jagannath Mishra, whatever he was receiving, he was giving everything back. Nothing he was keeping for himself. And he distributed all the charity to the professional singers, then the Brahmanas, and the reciters, and whoever was coming. Jagannath Mishra was giving everything. And then, wife of Srivas Thakur, Malini Devi, she came along with the wife of Chandrasekhar Acharya. So Srivas Thakur, one of the Panchtattva, his wife was Malini. So she came along with the wife of Chandrasekhar Acharya, and they brought various auspicious paraphernalias. They brought turmeric, vermilion, then oil, then fused rice. They call it khai. We know there is puffed rice and there is a fused rice, which is used in all these sacrificial offerings. So Prabhupada writes, they are very, very auspicious. And Prabhupada writes, just see, 500 years back, that was the way a newborn child was treated. So Malini and the wife of Chandrasekhar Acharya, they put the turmeric and the mixture of oil and vermilion on the body of newborn Gaur Hari. And Prabhupada said, just see, this was the culture. And now what happens? Nowadays, pregnant mother is sent to the hospital. And then, when the child is born, he is washed with all the antiseptics, and that is the end of everything. So that is what is happening. But in the previous times, it was an elaborate procedure. In the previous times, everything was so very wonderful and artistic. Every day was practically a festival. Even the child when turns, there is a festival. Bhagavatam describes when Krishna turned for the first time, they celebrated a festival. Everything is a festival. In Western culture, they don't have any festivals. So therefore, they are always sad, morose. And they have only one festival, that is Christmas. But West Indian Vedic civilization, full of festivals. Every day you can celebrate something. Every day is a festival. And when you come to Vaishnava's culture, every day becomes all the more festive. Just like today is Ekadashi. Then there is appearance of Jiva Goswami also. Then there is Varaha Dwadashi also, appearance of, Vamana Dwadashi also, appearance of Vamana Dev. Then tomorrow is Bhaktivinoda Thakur appearance day. So many festivals. So everybody was celebrating the festival of appearance of Gaur Hari. Then, after a day, the wife of Advaitacharya, not a day, after I think Utkraman ceremony that happens, I think 3-4 days after. So wife of Advaitacharya came and she brought various offerings. Advaitacharya Bharya Jagat Pujita Arya Nama Tara Sita Thakurani Acharyera Agya Paya Gela Upahar Laya Dekhite Balaka Shiromani. Advaita Acharya Bharya. So Advaita Acharya, his wife, her name was Sita Thakurani. Jagat Pujita Arya, she was worshipable by the whole world. She was a very, very wonderful senior Vaishnavi. And her name was Sita Thakurani. Namatara Sita Thakurani. So she took permission from Advaita Acharya and she traveled all the way from Shantipur. We discussed they were staying in Shantipur. Advaita Acharya had 2 homes, one in Shantipur, another in Navadvip. So when Mahaprabhu appeared, Advaita Acharya was staying in Shantipur. So Sita Thakurani, she took permission from Advaita Acharya and she took so many beautiful, wonderful offerings. Gela Upahara Laya. And she took all the offerings and went to the place of Navadvip to see the beautiful newborn child, Supreme Lord. What all things she brought? She brought various golden ornaments, necklaces, armlets, ankle bells, bangles. Prabhupada writes, and then she got a very interesting thing. She got tiger nail which is set in gold. Sometimes our Gopalji is put, with this, tiger nail. Sometimes you will see in the darshan. So tiger nails set in gold, that is considered very auspicious. So tiger nails she brought set in gold, and then she got various decorations for the waist, then bangles and ornaments for the head and the legs, and various nicely printed silken saris for Sachimata, Shachi Devi, and then various wonderful silk garments for small boy Gaur Hari also. And then along with that, she brought various gold and silver coins. So Prabhupada writes, from all these gifts presented by Sita Thakurani, we can understand that Advaita Acharya was a very rich man. Although he was a Brahmana, but as a Brahmana also he was very rich, because he was the leader of all the Brahmanas. And therefore he could afford all this. And then we heard the story of Kamalakant Vishwas. Kamalakant Vishwas once went to Prataprudh Maharaj and made a petition that Advaita Acharya is having a debt of 300 rupees. So Prabhupada writes that, how come Advaita Acharya is so rich and he is having a debt of 300 rupees? From that we can understand that 1 rupee was very, it has lots of value that time. It was not the rupee of this age. Nowadays 300 is nothing. So riding in a palanquin, Sita Thakurani, she came along with the servants and she presented all these beautiful auspicious articles. She brought some paddy, fresh grass, gorochan. So Prabhupada writes that in the earlier times, the ladies, they would travel in these palanquins. They would not walk on the road. Nobody could see a lady walking on the road, without any assistance. What to speak of royal kings, royal queens. In the Bhagavatam also it is described, whenever Krishna would come to Dwarka or Hastinapur, all the ladies, they would not come on the roads. And according to Vedic civilization, men and women, they cannot come together and stay in one place. There has to be a distance. You cannot see the face of a lady. So all these ladies, they would climb the towers. They would climb the palaces. Rajmarge gate Krishne Dwarkayam kulastriyaha Harmyani aruruhur vipra tadikshana mahotsavah. Rajamarge gate Krishna. When Krishna is going through the highways of Dwarka, Dwarkayam kulastriyaha, all the ladies of Dwarka, what they are doing? Harmyani aruruhu. Harmyani means the palaces. They climb and go to the top of all the palaces. Tadikshana mahotsava, just to see the beautiful festival of darshan of Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada tells that we have actual experience that in our childhood, Prabhupada is telling about himself. In our childhood, our mother would not even walk next door to observe an invitation. Whenever she would go in a palanquin. So that was the culture. So what to speak of 500 years back? So Sita Thakurani, she went with all her friends, all the maid servants, and gave all these beautiful offerings to Nimai. And when Sita Thakurani saw the beauty of this child, she was so very amazed. She came with all these presentations. And when she saw this beautiful newborn child, she was so very astonished to see that. And she told that he looks only like Krishna. Only difference is of color. Krishna is Shyama Varna and Mahaprabhu is Gaur Varna. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. He is Krishna but not having color of Krishna. That is Mahaprabhu. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes the beauty of Krishna's, Mahaprabhu's small child's beauty. Sarva anga sunirman suvarna pratima bhan sarva anga sulakshana may balakera divya jyoti dekhi paila bahu priti vatsalyete dravilariday. Sarva anga sunirman, all the limbs of Mahaprabhu, Nimai, small Nimai, it was all beautifully constructed with all the auspicious signs. Sarva anga sulakshana may. It will come in the further verses. How Mahaprabhu's body had all the auspicious signs of a great personality. There are 32 symptoms of a great personality. Mahaprabhu had all of them because he is Supreme Lord Krishna. Sarva anga sulakshanamay suvarna pratima bhani. He had a golden complexion. Sarva anga sunirman suvarna pratima bhan sarva anga sulakshanamay balakera divya jyoti. When Sita Thakurani saw the effulgence of the small boy Nimai, dekhi paila bahu priti, she became so very happy. And that is the result of taking darshan of Krishna. One becomes completely satisfied. One becomes completely pacified. When we are disturbed, when we are having so many problems, just go in front of the Lord and have darshan of the Lord. Because it is said that when you have the darshan of the beautiful form of the Lord and face of the Lord, the smile of the Lord can destroy ocean of miseries. And the eyebrows of the Lord can destroy the desire for sense gratification. Hasam hare ravanata kila lokativra shoka shrusagara vishoshana matyudaram sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya bhrumandalam munikrite makaradvajasya. Bhagavatam describes when you meditate on the beautiful smile of the Lord, Hasam Harer, what happens? Akhil Lok Tivra Shok Ashru Sagar. It is said that all of us, we have cried so much in our millions of lifetimes that it has created an ocean of tears. Itna roye. But that Shok Ashru Sagar Vishoshanam, Krishna has the capacity to dry that ocean of tears. So when Sita Thakurani saw the beautiful form of Gaur Hari Nimai, she became very jubilant, ecstatic. Vatsalyete Dravilariday, and she felt such maternal affection. She felt as if her heart was melting. Similar description comes in Bhagavatam about the appearance of Krishna. And when a child appears in this world, only mother can appreciate the beauty of the child, newborn child, covered with all the liquids. Only mother can appreciate. But when Mahaprabhu appeared, when Krishna appeared, oh, he was all beautiful. Tamadbhutam balakamambujekshanam chaturbhujam shankha gadadhyudayudham Srivatsalakshmam galashobi Pitambaram Sandra Payoda Saubhagam Adbhuta Balak. Wonderful child. He had lotus eyes. Ambujekshanam. He had 4 hands holding Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. He was wearing a Pitambar dhoti. Pitambaram Sandra Payoda Saubhagam. He had a Srivatsa on his chest. All the auspicious symbols were there. He was the embodiment of beauty. So when Mahaprabhu appeared, he was like, same because he is Krishna himself. Everybody was attracted to a small child. So Sita Thakurani, she blessed the child by placing paddy and the dry grass on the fresh grass, paddy and the fresh grass on the head of this fresh durva grass on head of Nimai. And she blessed him, saying, may you be blessed with a long duration of life. And we had discussed yesterday that Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata, they had 8 daughters. And they all died just after birth. So when Nimai appeared, when this Gaur Hari, Krishna appeared, they did all the delivery under a neem tree, because they were having this conception that we think they were thinking that there is some ghost or some negative vibrations are there, some ghostly beings are there who are killing our children. So neem tree is very auspicious. It is said that all the ghosts and witches, they don't come near neem tree. And Prabhupada describes that neem tree is very auspicious and from medical purposes also very antiseptic. Lots of medicines are made from neem tree. So therefore, and the neem tree is used for, Prabhupada writes, neem tree is used for brushing teeth, and it can cure leprosy also. So many things Prabhupada is writing there. So when Mahaprabhu was about to appear, so Shachi Devi delivered the child under a neem tree. That's why Sita Thakurani, she named the child as Nimai, that person who is born under the neem tree. And therefore later he became known as Nimai Pandit. So then after some days, 5th day or 9th day, some say 5th day, some say 9th day, the mother and the child is taken out of the home for the first time. And that is the tradition. That is how the Vedic culture is. The young born child and newborn child and the mother, they don't come out. They don't see the sun also for first 5 days or 9 days. So after 5 days or 9 days, there is a ceremony which is called as Utkraman or Nishkraman. That is a ceremony. So after a few days, Shachi Devi and the small boy Nimai came out of the maternity home for the first time. And that time, Sita Thakurani gave all the wonderful ornaments and garments. And that's how they honored. That's how she honored Nimai. And she gave lots of gifts to Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Devi also. And then in reciprocation, Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Devi also gave so many gifts to Sita Thakurani. And then Sita Thakurani, she went back. Then Kaviraj Goswami describes the fortune of Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Devi. Aiche Shachi Jagannath, Putra Paya Lakshminath, Putra Hoila Sakal, Purna Hoila Sakal Vanchit, Dhan Dhanya Bhare Ghar, Din धन धान्य भरे घर लोकमान्य कलेवर दिने दिने होए आनंदित. So Shachi Mata, Shachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra, Aiche Shachi Jagannath, Putra Paya Lakshminath. So when Lakshminath becomes the son of somebody, what is the problem for that personality? How can he be in poverty? When Lakshminath comes, Putra Paya Lakshminath, Purna Hoila Sakala Vanchit, all his hankerings, all his desires were fulfilled. He had no material desires. Because who was Jagannath Mishra? He was not an ordinary person who had material desire to have a son. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. Kaviraj Goswami will describe in the next verse the qualities of Jagannath Mishra. He was actually Nanda Maharaj himself. So all his desires were fulfilled. Purna Hoila Sakala Vanchina. And then when Lord appeared, what happened? No, none of the devotees of the Lord, they can be, poverty stricken. Krishna provides them. Whatever they need, Krishna provides them. Ananya Shintayanto Mam Yejana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Abhyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahami Aham. Krishna says, I provide what my devotee lacks and I protect what my devotee has. Dhana dhanya bhare ghar lokamanya kalevar. And the house was full of riches and the grains, dhana and dhanya, full of grains and riches. And when they saw the beautiful form of Nimai, they were so very happy. Dine dine hoye anandit. In this way, they were passing their days, very joyful, absorbed in having the darshan of small Nimai, who was Supreme Lord himself. And they had no material desires because Jagannath Mishra, what was his qualities? Mishra Vaishnava Shant Alam Pata Shuddha Dant Dhana Bhoge Nahi Abhiman Putre re prabhave yat dhana asi mile tat Vishnu prite dvije denadan. So this is a very important thing. When opulences come in our life, how we should use those opulences. When we become rich, when we get Lakshmi, how we should use that Lakshmi? That is what Jagannath Mishra is showing by his example. Mishra Vaishnava Shant, he was a great devotee. Shant, always peaceful. Alampata, not duplicitous. Every quality of Jagannath Mishra is very, very wonderful. Alampata. Alampat means no duplicity. No duplicity means whatever you think, that's what you speak. That is without any duplicity. Alampata Shuddha Dant, sense controlled, very pure in his actions. Dhana bhoge nahi abhiman. Therefore, he had no desire to enjoy all the material opulences. Whether one is a Brahmana or whether one is a king, a devotee has no material desires. He does not want to enjoy material opulences. Just like Yudhishthir Maharaj. He was a great devotee and a great, powerful, opulent king. But what was his mentality? Apipalat dharma raja pitrivatranjayan praja nispriha sarvakamebhyo krishna padanusevaya. He was a dharmaraj. He was taking care of the citizens like children, but nispriha. Spriha means desire. Nispriha means no desire. He had no material desires. How come he had no material desires? Because Krishna Padanu Sevaya. Always absorbed in serving Krishna. That was the only meditation he had. So Mishra, Jagannath Mishra, he had all these qualities. Vaishnava, Shant, Alampata, Shuddha, Dant, Dhana Bhoge Nahi Abhiman. He was not enjoying the material opulences. Whatever he would get by the influence of the child, everybody was coming and giving so many gifts. He would give everything in charity to all the devotees. Vishnu Prite Dvija Dena Dan. He would give everything back in charity to Brahmanas for the satisfaction of Vishnu. That is a devotee. Using everything in Krishna's service. That is called as Yukta Vairagya. Whatever quality we may have, whatever wealth, whatever opulences, whatever capacity we have, use in Krishna's service. Otherwise, it is all Shrama Evahi Kevalam. It is all useless, waste of labor. Shrutasya idam vipumsa tapasa shrutasya va shrishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo avichyuto artha kavibhir nirupito yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Whatever skills you may have, knowledge, scholarship, charitable, wealthy, if you are not using in Krishna's service, what is the use? So that's how Jagannath Mishra was giving everything back. Then after a few days, Nilambar Chakravarti, we discussed yesterday also, he was the father of Shachi Devi, a great astrologer, a great devotee himself. He calculated the birth moment of Lord. He made the horoscope for Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he told Jagannath Mishra privately that I can see that your child has all the symptoms of a great personality, and in future he will deliver all the three worlds. Prediction was already made. When Srila Prabhupada appeared in this world, one astrologer made prediction about him also. At the age of 70, he will go to the Western world and he'll make more than 100 temples. He'll become the great preacher of Krishna consciousness. So that's how Lord and his devotees are always glorified. Aiche Prabhu Shachi Ghare Kripaye Koila Avatare Ei Iha Karaye Shravane. So now, Kaviraj Goswami is giving a wonderful benediction. Whoever hears the pastime of Lord's appearance in this world, what will he get? Aiche Prabhu Shachi Ghare Kripaye Koila Avatare Ei Iha Karaye Shravan. Gaur Prabhu Dayamaye Tare Hoye Na Sadaye Sei Paye Tahar Charan. Anybody who hears the pastime of appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the house of Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, what will he get? Gaur Prabhu Dayamaye Tare Hoye Na Sadaye. Mahaprabhu is all merciful, and mercifully he will give the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord to that person. Sai Paye Tahara Charan. He will achieve the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Just by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, one will achieve perfection. If we hear with faith, if we hear with attention, we'll achieve that perfection. And then very wonderful verses are coming. Last two verses of this chapter, very beautiful, very famous. Paiya manushya janma jena shune gauragun hena janma tara vyartha hoila. Paiya amrita dhuni piye vishya garta pani janmi ase kene nahi maila. Now Kaviraj Goswami is becoming very strong. He is giving a strong instruction to everyone of this world. Ari, you have got this human form of life. Paya Manushya Janma, and you have attained human body and you are not taking to the devotional service of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Hena Shune Gaurugun, you are not hearing Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Arey, why did you take birth? Your birth is waste. It is as if Paya Amrita Dhuni, if somebody gets a river of nectar, Piye Vishya Garta Pani, and what is he doing? He is drinking poison. Arey, why you took birth? You should have died long back. You don't deserve to live. Very strong. Bhagavatam also tells like that. What is the use of living? What is the use of breathing like the bellows of a blacksmith? What is the use of standing like trees for long, long years? What is the use of eyes if you cannot see the darshan of the Lord? What is the use of ears if you cannot hear the pastimes of the Lord? Bilebatoru krama vikramanye na shanvati karna pute narasya jihva satidar durikeva suta na chopagayatyurugaya gatha. Your ear holes, our ear holes are like the holes where snakes live if we don't use them in hearing the pastimes of Krishna. And our tongue is like the tongue of a frog. What is the speciality of frog? In the rainy season, frog starts croaking, and hearing the sound of the frogs croaking, snakes come and eats that frog. That is what we are doing if we are not speaking about Krishna. Jihva satidar durikeva suta. It is like an unchaste wife not satisfying husband and going to all the other men. Our tongue is supposed to glorify Krishna. But if it is not used in glorification of Krishna, it is like an unchaste wife. It is like a tongue of a frog. And people, they just spend their time whole day speaking about all the garbage. Anything apart from Krishna conscious talks is all useless. Of course, we have to take care of our daily duties. We have to do our job. Whenever we get time, what are we doing in that time? That is most important. Apart from our job, apart from our family responsibilities, whenever we get time, what are we speaking? Otherwise, people are just wasting their time. Asharyam etadhi manushya loke sudham parityajya visham pibanti namani narayana gocharani tyaktvanya vacha kuhaka patanti. Oh, it is so very astonishing. Ashcharya. What is that Ashcharya? Sudham parityajya visham pibanti. You are giving up nectar and you are drinking poison. People are doing that. What is nectar? Namani narayana gocharani. The pastimes of the Lord, they are nectar. You are not tasting that and you are drinking the poison of this world. Kuhaka patanti. So that is how Kaviraj Goswami is very strongly telling, Arey, what is the use of living like a dead man? You have to live to glorify Krishna. Otherwise, your ears are like ear holes. Kaviraj Goswami describes in another place. Nana bhaver bhaktajan hamsa chakra vakagan yate sabe kore na vihar. Krishna keli sumrinal yaha pai sarvakal bhakta hamsa karoe ahar. Devotees are always absorbed in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. They are like the swans and they are like Chakravaka who are satisfied only with Krishna Katha. Otherwise, what is the use of living? All our activities, if they are not taking us to dharma, if our dharma is not taking us to vairagya, and if our vairagya is not taking us to devotional service, it is all waste. Nehayat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirtha pada sevaya jivan napi mritopi sa. It is all waste. So therefore, whatever life we have, we should try to utilize in service of Krishna. in hearing the pastimes of Krishna, in chanting the names of Krishna. Otherwise, it is a waste. It is Shrameva hi Kevalam. And then the last verse of this chapter, very beautiful verse. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Acharya Advaita Chandra Swarupa Rupa Raghunath Das Iha Sabha Shri Charan Shire Vandi Nij Dhan Janma Lila Gaila Krishna Das. Now Kaviraj Goswami is telling the lotus feet of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaitacharya, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. I am taking the lotus feet of all these personalities on my head. They are my only wealth. Shire Dhari Sabara Charan. They are my only wealth. Shire Vandi Nij Dhan. Iha Sabha Shri Charan Shire Vandi Nij Dhan. I am taking the lotus feet of all these devotees on my head because that is my only wealth. And that's why I am reciting the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada writes another wonderful purport. Anyone who follows in the footsteps of Kaviraj Goswami, he also accepts the lotus feet of all these great personalities and the lotus feet of Lord as their personal property. That is only our property, nothing else. Dhanamora Nityananda. Prabhupada quotes this bhajan. Dhanamora Nityananda. Narottam Das Thakur has written a bhajana that my wealth is Nityananda Prabhu. My wealth is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Another bhajan written by Narottam Das Thakur. Prabhupada is quoting in the purport. Gaura pahu na bhajiya mainu prema ratana dhana hilaye harainu. Prema ratan dhana. I got this prema ratan dhan, but I didn't take care of it properly. I lost it. Adhane jatana kari dhana tayagino. I was working to get the so-called wealth of this world. Apana karama doshe apani dubinu. And because of my own fruitive activities, I drowned myself in this cycle of birth and death. So we should understand that our wealth, what is our real wealth? Lord is our wealth. Association of devotees is our wealth. And that's what we can see in these verses. Kaviraj Goswami is telling again and again, what is our wealth? Our wealth is Krishna. That is what we have to understand. At present, we may hear, but we may think, theek hai, itna bhi, theek hai. I know, I've heard many times and I'm practicing. But to actually understand, that takes a lots of hard work. And when we come to this conclusion, then the troubles of this world won't affect us. Then we'll become peaceful. At present, we become troubled over small things, right? But see the life of Pandavas. So many troubles came in their life. But because they had Krishna, they had devotees, and they had saintly persons. They had dharmic principles. Therefore, they could go through all them. Yatra dharma suto raja gadapani vrikodara krishno stri gandivam chapam surit krishna tato vipat. So many problems came in the life of Pandavas, although they had the best of morality, best of the skill, best of the strength, and best well-wisher Krishna. Still problems came. But Bhishma, he tells Yudhishthir Maharaj, oh Yudhishthir, you are not supposed to live also. You all were about to die. But you know why you survived? You all survived? Aho kashtam, aho anyayam, yad yuyam dharmanandanah, jivitam narahata klishtam, vipra dharma achyuta ashraya. Oh, it is so very unfortunate to see all of you suffering so much. Aho kashtam. So many injustices came upon you. Still you survived because you had taken shelter of Vipra, Dharma, and Achyuta. You had taken shelter of Brahmanas, Dharma, and Supreme Lord. So therefore, we should be eager to acquire this wealth of Krishna and wealth of devotees association. That is the only treasure we have. And that is what Kaviraj Goswami is giving us. This, our real wealth is to hear the pastimes of the Lord. Ei anta lila sar sutra madhye visatar kori kichu karilu vivaran iha madhye mari jabe varni tera paritabe ei lila bhakta ganadhan. Kaviraj Goswami is telling, actually in the, what he is doing, in Madhya Lila beginning only, he is giving a synopsis of Antya Lila. Why? Antya Lila sar sutra madhya visatar. I am giving, and he himself writes that I have given the synopsis of Antya Lila in the beginning only. Why? Because if I die in between, because Kaviraj Goswami is 94 years old and he doesn't know how much time he has. Iha madhya mari jabe varni tera paritabe. If I die in between, how I will tell these glories? And these glories are the real wealth of Vaishnavas. Ei Leela Bhakta Ganadhan. So this pastime is the real wealth which is everlasting. And when we get this wealth, then Shoka, Moha, Bhaya, Apaha. No lamentation, no illusion, and no fear. Mahaprabhu has come, Panchatattva has come to this, to give this wealth only. Say Panchatattva mili prithvi asiya Purve prema bhandarera mudra ughadiya Panche muli lute prem kore aswadan Yata yata piye trishna bade anokshan. They have broke open this treasure of love of God and distributing this to everyone. So that is the treasure which Kaviraj Goswami is giving. The instructions of devotees are the treasure. Devotional service is a treasure. If we don't endeavor to get the treasure of this world, then whatever we get of this world, it is all useless only now, because it will not stay for long. It will stay for some time and then it will be gone. But if somebody gets the treasure of Krishna, it is everlasting. Prataprudra Maharaj is telling to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, if Mahaprabhu doesn't show mercy, if Mahaprabhu doesn't give me mercy, what is the use of living? Tara pratigya more na koriba darshan, more pratigya tara bina chadiba jivan. He's telling, if Mahaprabhu has taken this vow that he'll not give me darshan, I am taking a vow that I'll give my life up. Yadi say Mahaprabhu na pai kripa dhan, kiba rajya kiba deha sabo akaran. If I don't get mercy of Lord, what is the use of living? What is the use of this kingdom? So therefore, if we invest in the pastimes of the Lord, if we invest in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, that will never be destroyed. That is a permanent treasure. So that's how this chapter ends. So we'll stop here and we'll continue next time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody has any questions? Okay, so there are no questions. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.